Hi, everyone. We are the music streaming platform team. We're team 5, SISM, which is music backwards. And my name is Kieran, and we're joined by Crystal, Mansi, Ram, and Triyesh. And our research question is, how is the digital music industry evolving and how can it be monetized? We thought that this would be a really good perspective to bring because this could help both the artists that are creating music, the brands that are producing it, and those that are listening figure out what platforms and what to do in order to have an enjoyable experience moving forward.
So moving towards the executive summary. So while doing this research, we conducted in-depth interviews with the users of each platform, studied their online conversation on how users are reacting to each platforms, and also we have conducted a survey to gather more data. So here are some of the key takeaways that we have found. First one is the user are not concerned about the data privacy when it comes to the music streaming platform. 60% of the users are willing to switch their music streaming platform if their favorite artist and band is removed. Easy to access and navigation are some of the important components that users consider while choosing their primary music streaming platform. User with lower income bracket are more sensitive towards the pricing and subscription plan. Younger users expect a frequent innovation and design layout changes in their streaming platform. And for users, sharing the music with their family friends is an important component while choosing the music streaming platform. So moving towards the top 5 music streaming platforms that we have considered while doing this research are Apple Music, YouTube, Amazon Music, Pandora, and Spotify. So here is a comparison chart between the all music streaming platform. So for Apple Music, an artist or band can earn upon 0.7 cents per thousand view, and Apple Music have a total 72 million user base. Amazon Music, you can earn around 0.42 cents per thousand view and has a 55 million user base. For Pandora, it has a 0.13 cents per thousand view and a 70 million user base. For Spotify, you can earn around 0.43 cents per thousand view and it has around 381 million user base. YouTube, you can earn around 0.2 cents per thousand view and it has the largest user base that is of 2.1 billion users.
Now let's take a look at the quotes from what subjects and users are mentioning for each of the platforms. So first up, we have Amazon Music. Users said that I would not recommend the streaming service to my friends and family, that they would need to hire a better designer for the app interface. Another user said, I am leaving Google Music after a big change to YouTube Music. I don't want none of that. I have Amazon Prime already, so I'm leaning towards Amazon Unlimited, and the sentiments overall were the lowest with negative reviews. Next is Apple Music. Users say that unless Apple Music was no longer available, I do not see myself switching platforms. Another user said, honestly, not in love with it, but I've been using it for so long, so I'm sticking with it, and does not compare to other apps, lacking in innovation. Overall, the platform received mediocre reviews, both positive and negative. For Pandora, users say they're infinitely satisfied. I'm willing to pay up to $30 a month. Pandora keeps creating multiple thumbs up playlists and that their radio system is actually a radio, not a glorified playlist like Spotify now has. And reviews are also similar and they have mediocre positive and negative reviews. Next up, we have Spotify. Users say that they're pretty satisfied overall, but having lyrics would make it a bigger fan. On my way at Spotify, I just can't handle how broken your app is anymore, swapping back to Apple Music for a while. Another user said Spotify is the best music and podcast service I've used yet, even though it has some issues. And overall, they have the most positive reviews between all the platforms. For YouTube, users say it's built for everyone. Please show ads after the video ends or before the video starts, not in the middle. And too many ads and sentiments were also average, trending positive.
Coming to the tests and the reports, we conducted both qualitative and quantitative studies to gather data that will help us find answers to our research question. IDI's ethnography and ethnography were part of the qualitative study, while the survey design was a part of the quantitative research. Talking about the methodology of IDI, each team member conducted an in-depth interview via Zoom with one of the users of one of the top 5 streaming music platforms, which is Apple Music, Amazon Music, Pandora, Spotify, and YouTube. Interviewees were asked 10 to 15 open-ended questions about their experience with their primary music streaming platform. The answers were noted down thoroughly and later collected into a report. Moving on to ethnography, we observed 5 subjects who use at least one of the top 5 music streaming services. The subjects were asked to take the 16 personalities test prior to the study. The study was followed by an in-depth interview conducted by each team member. The subjects were also asked to perform behavior tasks during the interview. Their moods and abilities were noted down. The main objective of the study was to find a relation between personality and music consumption. Next, we performed ethnography to study online conversations of users. We studied social media platforms of all the 5 music streaming platforms. And we also studied comments on related YouTube videos and user feedback in the app review section on Play Store and App Store. At the end, we noted down all the common words, the language, and tone used in the conversations, as well as the sentiments behind those. This helped us understand what the users are saying about each platform in the digital space. Moving forward, I will pass it on to Ram.
For the survey design class, we created a survey focusing on 3 primary components for users of music streaming platforms and an additional component for users who do not use any streaming platform. For the 84 respondents who use music streaming platforms, the focus was understanding the purchase behavior, usage patterns, and what kind of features they're looking for. For the 19 respondents who do not use any streaming platform, the focus was looking at how they usually listen to music. Let's now look at the key takeaways for each of these 4 tests.
For our in-depth interview, across the board, we saw that the interviewees demonstrated minimal concern for data privacy as long as it improved personalized music recommendations. And based on their interviews, 3 out of 5 interviewees use multiple music streaming platforms due to lack of certain features, and they are also willing to switch music platforms if their favorite artists, bands switch to a different platform.
As for the ethnography, we found that from the 16 personalities, 3 of our subject takers were diplomats, 1 was an explorer, and 1 was a sentinel. And from that, we also found that the extroverts tended to mostly like electronic music or energetic music, and the introverts preferred more relaxed R&B style or soft rock. And one thing that all of the platforms had in common was that they all used YouTube to perform some sort of task that we asked them to do. Other than that, most of the introverts tended to use Spotify as their primary platform. And the extroverts tended to use YouTube, Apple Music, Sirius XM.
Coming on to the takeaways from the Nethergraphy study, to answer the questions with respect to what the users were saying about the platforms, what language they were using, and what sentiments were there behind the conversations, we found that the conversations were more or less unfiltered. The users have both positive and negative feedback about each platform, and they also mentioned a few frustrations they have with each platform. A few more observations from the study are that for Spotify, it has a larger following and is frequently cited in comments by users of other services. For Apple Music, the app ratings mirror the reviews. And for Amazon Music, the app ratings don't match the reviews, and there aren't many discussions about the platform for us to find out what is the reason behind that. And for YouTube Music, people comment about how it is easy to navigate through the platform, but still they also say that they won't be willing to pay for the premium content. For Pandora, consumers discuss opportunities for improvement as they are willing to stick to the platform, and they are expecting a lot more from the platform in the near future.
And so here are the key takeaways from the survey design quant study. Spotify users are most loyal when compared to other streaming platforms. Meanwhile, Pandora and YouTube users are more likely to switch to other platforms if offered free subscription for 1 year. Majority of YouTube users pick the platform through independent research. On the other hand, social media is the biggest influential factor for Apple Music users. While Apple Music has a significantly younger user base, Amazon Music has the oldest user base when compared to the other music platforms, as you can see from mean age of 44. We also found that 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. is the time when most users are active on their music platforms. And also, users with higher income brackets are likelier to pay more if additional features are introduced.
So here are some survey results in the graph format. So influencing factors, around 47% of the users do individual research while selecting the primary music streaming platform, while 53% of the users are influenced by other factors such as family, friends, and advertisements. Music plays. So 54% of the users listen to the music when they are at home. And the free subscription, Spotify has the most loyal customer base, as 81% of the people will still use Spotify even after offering 1 year of free subscription, while while Pandora customer base are most likely to switch to other music streaming platform if they're offered a 1-year free plan. Mobile devices is the most frequently used device while streaming their music streaming app. So these were some of the qualitative results we found from our survey.
Now, moving on to the crossroads slide. To bring our research together, we want to take you through our very own mini music streaming universe or ecosystem. Here we'll talk about how findings from one research study is related to other. For example, for Amazon Music, the interviewee mentioned a few negative feedbacks about the platform in an in-depth interview. And the keywords that we noted down were no great features, bad app interface, pushing the paid version more than required, and association with Alexa. And when we performed our ethnography study, we observed same kind of keywords in the findings. The comments or online conversations mentioned keywords like bad app interface, and other frustrations with having to pay more for the unlimited version.
So for Apple Music, during the in-depth interview, user expressed low concern for data privacy because of the personalization that was being offered. And then in the ethnography, we also saw that users expressed lack of innovation and updates to the platform, which we saw in our other studies. And during the quantitative study, during our survey showed that Apple Music had the lowest satisfaction rating compared to all the other platforms, and that social media is the highest influence factor when deciding to use Apple Music.
And as for Pandora, when we conducted the in-depth interview, we found that the subject mentioned that Pandora needs a larger selection of music, which was repeated in the netography when we saw people commenting that on their social media platforms and in the review section. Another thing that was mentioned in the in-depth interview, as well as the netography, was that they really appreciated the simplistic interface. And another thing to note was that on the netography, we researched what review the App Store had given it, and it was about a 4.15, which was among the highest in the five that we had researched. And as for the quantitative study, we found that the satisfaction score was about a 7.66 out of 10, which again was the highest ranking among the 5 that we have researched.
As for Spotify, interview liked the range of music available and the fact that they added the lyrics option recently. However, she did not like the cluttered interface. Also, Spotify users use the shuffle option a lot, which the algorithm in turn uses to kind of trap them in a similar music bubble. From the ethnography, we found that the app glitches attract a lot of attention on social media. Also, from the quantitative study, as we alluded to before, Spotify users are more loyal when compared to other music streaming platforms.
So for the YouTube, in the in-depth interview, users have said easy to navigate and a huge collection of music is the main primary component while choosing their YouTube as a primary music streaming platform. In ethnography, we have observed that most of the users have chosen YouTube as their primary platform while sharing the music with their family and friends. In ethnography, we have found the common comments such as easy to navigate and too many ads in the free version. While in the quantitative study, it had a high satisfaction rate due to the ease of navigation and covering 99% of the music streaming service for free.
And now to bring everything together, we have a Venn diagram that shows each of the circles representing each of the 5 platforms we chose to work with. So YouTube is primarily known for its music videos. Spotify is known for its student plan via Hulu collaboration. And among the Apple users, Apple products overall are just enjoyed. Amazon is known for its Prime subscription. And then SiriusXM is in partnership with Pandora, which most of the users tend to appreciate. As you go further into the circle, you'll find that there's a lot of overlap in the different features and also the different quotes mentioned earlier, as well as what people wanted to see. So as you can see in YouTube and Spotify, the sharing through music links is mostly done through these 2 platforms. Whereas in Spotify and Apple, there's an overlap in social media integration. People love sharing and expressing their joy for music and certain artists through those 2 music platforms primarily. In terms of Apple and Amazon Music, their overlap is in that fact that there are no ads if you go through those subscriptions. So if that's something you value, you can always go with that option. And The criticism that Pandora and Amazon both had in common was that there was a limited selection of music options. So they need to have a larger selection. The overlap between Pandora and YouTube is that the customer life cycle has been over 10 plus years. Those have been the two oldest platforms out of all 5 of these. And so it's interesting to see whether or not those customers will switch over. And the further you go deeper into the Venn diagram, you will find that some of these platforms are podcast friendly, some of them are mainstream, some of them have some navigational issues, as well as playlist creation issues, and some of them aren't compatible with Alexa, which is something people do tend to value. And the main takeaway here is that although all of these are specialized and differentiate themselves in the market, the main thing they have in common is the fact that they are easy. You can easily access music through the streaming services versus the traditional forms of listening to music in the past. So now we're going to be talking about the conclusion and what we've learned over the past few weeks.
One of our main research questions was, how is the digital music industry evolving? And more people find it convenient to stream music. So we expect there to be a lot of growth and for the industry to really evolve over the next few years. Individual research is also the primary determinant when selecting a platform. And we're also surprised to see that most people use more than one music streaming platform.
And so the second part of the research question was, how can it be monetized? Users are sensitive about the pricing for subscriptions, and they like to be on friends and family bundle. So from the platform's point of view, more friends and family subscription bundles could lead to more users. From the artist's perspective, they can monetize by adding the music to Spotify and Apple when compared to the other platforms. Also, users from higher income brackets can be marketed at differently, as they're willing to pay more for additional features.
Last words. Our first conclusion point of observation from our entire research study is that we found, or we believe, that Amazon Music is sort of misleading. Don't tell anyone that we said this, but we believe this because from the study, we found that the ratings don't match the reviews. There are a lot of bad reviews about Amazon Music, but the ratings are really high. For example, it has a 4.2 and a 4.8 in Play Store and App Store respectively, and it's more than the other platforms, which is kind of hard to believe because there are more loyal users of other music streaming platforms. And we also believe that the survey takers might have mistaken Amazon Music for Prime subscription because the satisfaction rate in the survey is the highest for Amazon Music. So maybe it's because of the poor product differentiation. And moving on to Spotify. For Spotify, recently it has launched the Spotify Wrap, which is sort of like, I think which is the like most trending feature of the app. And for both new users and non-users, they sort of kind of have FOMO when they are not able to share their Spotify Wrap, which generates a buzz around the music streaming platform and attracts a lot of attention to it.
So in the observation, we have observed that YouTube may not be the primary platform for everyone, but everyone uses it. So no matter which music streaming platform you are using it, YouTube has an important role to play in every music streaming services. Apple lacks in innovation and ability to share with the non-users, while Pandora has the best recommendation because its algorithm studies the music pattern deeply. So thank you. Let me know if you have any questions.
No, I switched it. Yeah.
No, yours is mirrored, Monty. Yours is fine. Yours looks fine.
Mine is mirrored. Right?
Yeah, yours mirrored.
It looks the same, but
Yeah.
No, watch.
Should I change it for mine or it is okay?
No, yours is good. Wait, I'll send a screenshot what it looks like right now.
even I'll send a picture of what it looks like to me.
Oh, there's filters?
Because if you have your thing like mirrored normally, it'll look normal to you, but to us, it's different.
Oh, what the hell?
Whoa. There's so many cool features. Oh my God, I never scrolled down.
Does it look fine now? What's happening? Wait.
This is so cool.
Oh, there
it looks fine now, yeah.
Oh my God. What are you doing, Kiran?
I don't know, but this is fun. Okay.
And we are recording this, right?
Yeah, we-
behind the scenes, you know. Oh, here, let me get rid of that. Okay, there we
So
go.
this is the final one, or this is the mock one?
This is. I think we should like pretend this is the final one.
And
So
okay.
this is a good one, and then if
Okay.
we'll record again.
Okay, I'll pause then.